Welcome viewers. As we all know, CCR is a channel to discuss various topics related to cell cycle regulation. Today in this particular video, we are going to discuss about structure of p53 protein. It is well known tumor suppressor protein, and mutation in p53 is the most common mutation found in almost all cancers. So here we should discuss about the structure of p53. So here, as you can see from the diagram, this is the simplified structure of the protein p53. P53 protein is named like that because of its molecular mass, which is 53 kilodalton, and it has different domains and different binding sites. As we know, it has all like other proteins, it also has N-terminal site, C-terminal site, and a central domain. So in the case of here p53, we consider this region to have three basic regions of importance. One is N-terminal, one is C-terminal, and another is central domain. So it is a 393 amino acid long protein, and because of its different structure and different function, some specific domains are there. Now in this diagram, three colors are used. The yellow color denotes the functional domains. The pink color denotes the conserved regions, and the gray color denotes the structural or post-translational modification region. So today we will just discuss the sites of p53 which are of importance. And first N-terminal region from the amino acid 1 to 50 is called the transactivation domain. It is important for recruitment of various transcription factors including TF2D, TF2H, TBP, TBP associated factor, TAF. And also here you can see binding of other proteins like P62, P300. Important protein is MDM2, which upon it is itself gets activated by p53 only, and then once MDM2 binds with p53, it causes its degradation. So it is a kind of negative feedback system performed by this protein. Next, we can see HPV E6 protein also binds here, and this region is very much important because this region causes transcriptional activation of other target genes. That is why it is called transactivation domain. Now coming to the next portion, which is a proline-rich region, 63 to 97 amino acid long region, and it has very much homology with the SH3 binding region, therefore it is called SH3 region. This region is very much needed for apoptosis, for p53 mediated apoptosis, and here you can see 5 proline-rich sequences. 5 repeats of PXXP repeats are found, and these are very much important because this region may interact with other proteins which are needed for signal transduction pathway. For example, CABL protein can bind to this region. Not only that, this region is important for HPV E6 mediated p53 degradation. Here in some places, some arginine sequences are very important. If p53 is homologous for arginine 72, then it is found that this becomes susceptible for degradation by HPV E6 protein. Now we should discuss about the central domain, which is the largest domain of p53, and this is the DNA binding domain. It ranges from the amino acid 102 to 292 amino acid, and this region has some conserved region also. From 117 to 142 amino acid, and also 171 to 181, 234 to 258, and 270 to 286. We will discuss about its importance later. First, we should know the what kind of proteins can interact to this region. Simian virus 40 or SV40T antigen can bind to this region and can p53 inactive. Other some proteins like 53 BP1 and BP2 can bind in this region. Here is a thing important for this region is when we do X-ray crystallographic model, we can find that this particular DNA binding domain contains a beta sandwich. Beta sandwich consisting of 3 loops and 4 to 5 beta sheets. There are 3 loops are demarcated as L1, L2 and L3. This is the L1, this is L2 and L3. What is the importance of this region? This L1, because the entire region is DNA binding. So L1, the loop 1, it binds to the major groove of DNA. This 112 to 141 amino acid long sequence, it can bind to the major groove of DNA. On the other hand, L2 can bind to the minor groove of the DNA. And there is an important of L3. This L3 can bind with the zinc molecule. The zinc molecule, which is tetravalent, so tetrahedrally it can bind to the zinc molecule. This is 176 and 238 and 242, and also this H179. This all together of the L3 region helps to bind with the zinc. So what is the importance of zinc atom binding of the L3 region? This is important because this zinc ion, basically zinc atom or zinc ion, it acts as a chelating agent, and this chelating agent help in the sequence specific binding of this region, this DNA binding domain. So we should remember that a DNA binding domain, a protein which has DNA binding domain, it has the ability to recognize specific DNA sequence, and then therefore it can bind. So zinc here serves 2 purposes. One is that binding and stabilizing the binding at the particular sequence. So this region is also named, as in the diagram you can see, it can also known as LSH. The term LSH means loop sheet helix. So this contains the LSH domain. Now coming to this region, there is, after the DNA binding, there is some linker region, and then after that you can find there is the C-terminal region starts. And in the C-terminal region also we can find 2 particular domain which are very important. One is also called tetramerization domain, which is from 323 to 356 amino acid long, and another is regulatory domain. Here also some important transcription factor, DNA repair machinery proteins, and other important proteins can interact at the tetramerization domain. Why it is important, we will discuss. So we should know that P53, the active P53 protein, is a tetramer. Okay. So how this tetramer is formed? That is formed by the tetramerization domain. So first we should know what are the components of monomer. Each monomer of P53 is consisting of turns, beta turns of aspartate 324 to glycine 325, beta strand, glutamine 326 to arginine 333, Another turn is there of glycine 334 and alpha helix of arginine 335 to glycine 356. Now each of these monomer forms dimers, and these two dimers again form dimers to form tetramer. So basically the tetramer of P53 can also be termed as dimer of dimers. So now in dimer of dimers, in the outside of the tetramer, generally we can find the beta turns. And the inside of the tetramer where the dimers interact with themselves, that interacting portion of the two dimers contain alpha helix. And when this, ultimately it forms helix bundle. So if I tell that the tetramer contains outside beta turns at the opposite ends, and in the interacting phase they have alpha helix forming helix bundle. Now once P53 has formed this complete tetramer structure, then only it becomes active P53. Okay. Now if a particular oncogenic product, it wants the P53 to be less stabilized, it will target at the tetramerization domain so that the tetramer may not form. Also, mutations in the tetramerization domain is found in cancer. It has been found that in this domain, if mutation is found, then a tetramer cannot be formed and P53 automatically will be degraded. Next portion is the regulatory domain. This regulatory domain is a 30 amino acid long region. The extreme terminal C-terminal domain is called regulatory domain. It is also called apoptotic domain. It is also known as DNA damage recognition protein. This one thing I want to mention, that P53 has important role in identifying broken DNA. So how can they do that? They perform this by the C-terminal domain because it has single-stranded DNA binding region. So once it binds at the broken DNA at the single-stranded end, then it causes the transcription of the DNA, of the proteins which are required for the repair of the DNA. So therefore it causes repair of DNA. If the damage is beyond repair, then it can trigger apoptosis of the cell, thereby minimizing the chances of formation of chromosomal instability, and therefore minimizing the chance to normal cell to become into a transformed cell. So mutation, if induced in the regulatory domain or at the C-terminal domain, therefore it cannot recognize the broken DNA also, and it can cause the cells with damaged DNA can also cause division, and the faulty repairs may perform, and that can cause chromosomal instability. Another thing we should tell, that in the DNA binding domain, some things are very important. That is, if you induce mutation in this region, in this LSH region, in L1 or L2 or L3, in this region, in many cases in cancers or in tumors particularly, we can find mutations in this LSH region. Okay, so if mutations are there, they fall into two categories. These DVD mutation or DNA binding domain mutations fall into two categories. One is called class 1 mutation and another is called class 2 mutation. Class 1 mutation affect the regions which contact with the DNA. For example, there are many times it has been found in most of the cancer where P53 mutations is found, their arginine 248 is found to be mutated. On the other hand, another common mutation is arginine 273. In this point, if there is mutation occurs, then the DNA binding region or the region which comes in contact with DNA, there the binding gets affected. And in class 2 mutation, that does not occur exactly at the DNA binding region, but class 2 mutations are those mutations which can reduce the stability of p53. For example, as I told, if there is mutation in the tetramerization domain, there the active tetramer would not be formed. As a result, the stability of p53 would be reduced. Next one is important that in the DNA binding domain, when they have some nuclear localization sequence, not only DNA binding domain, it is actually in between DNA binding domain and tetramerization domain. Actually, its location is in the linker region, that is from amino acid 316 to 384. So actually it is in the at the end of DNA binding domain to regulatory domain, there it can occur. So if there are 3 nuclear localization sequence, NLS1, NLS2 and NLS3, if we can perform mutation in NLS1, then a mutated protein will be formed which resides in the cytoplasm. And if we produce mutation in NLS2 and 3, then proteins which will form that will reside both in cytoplasm and nucleus. One should mention that p53's localization changes when it gets mutated, which is also found in most of the transformed cells. Its location changes from nucleus to cytoplasm. This is probably because of the mutation occurring at the NLS region. Now coming to the another portion here, with some symbols we have shown certain post-translational modification that might act here. Many phosphorylation events occur at p53 which increase its stability. For example, serine 9, 15, 33, 37 and 315, 376, 392. This region causes phosphorylation, and some region of p53 undergoes acetylation. For example, lysine 320, lysine 382. So this region are important because this post-translational modification acts as marker for the p53 which can be recognized by the proteins on which bind on this particular region. Although the first one, as we can see, the S9, serine 9 phosphorylation is yet not known. Its function is not yet known. And S15 is important because it can be recognized by ATM. And similarly, S33 phosphorylation is recognized by CAK. This is DNA PK can recognize this. CDK can recognize serine 315 phosphorylation. Serine 315 phosphorylation is important for many purposes, and serine diphosphorylation in serine 376 and 378 is important for PKC, and serine 392 phosphorylation is important for CK2. So these proteins find this region to when this post-translational modification occurs, then only these DNA binding proteins can p53 binding proteins can recognize the p53 and they can bind at the region. So about this post-translational modification and its importance, we will discuss in a different video with more details. But this was the overall structure of p53 and its importance is discussed here. Please give me more suggestions, or if you know any other important point. This video is free for all kind of interaction. If you find some extra information about this P53 structure, please let us know. So this video is created for the excellence of knowledge, so that the scientific knowledge about different molecules will become much more clear cut and the concepts will be clear. Thank you very much for attending my video and listening till the end, and please keep supporting CCR.